Introducing us before I came, and I'm not a doctor, so please, in the long illustrious list of people, please, I'm just Saurabh Kumar. Yes, it's a great pleasure to be here. Let me thank Elcoma, the other organizers for this meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll be very brief. I mean, most of the things has been spoken. I've also talked about the various business models, and I'll just quickly run you through, and also a few messages that I would like to pass on. I think, as Nirupam rightly said, when he quoted the Honorable Minister, this is the time that we have to now see the opportunity is there. And more importantly, the entire lighting industry has shown us that this is something which is doable. We have taken a step. I think the lighting industry has taken 2 steps, and as representatives of I think Dr. Mathur is here, so would it be better if he comes in before?
I think please continue. We follow suit.
Okay, thanks. I would like to welcome Dr. Ajay Mathur. So I'll very quickly run through what I have to say. Well, hopefully we may not need to show the slide after 6 months or so, but nevertheless, we are the arm of the Government of India, the Ministry of Power. Essentially, the Bureau of Energy Efficiency is the regulatory and the policy making body. We were created as the implementing arm of the government, basically to essentially to scale up energy efficiency in the country, create market access, handle private sector, and create business models which are sustainable, create business models which actually make energy efficiency a serious business, no longer something which is philanthropic or CSR activity, but this is something which large corporates would like to invest and make good money out of it. So we essentially, on the last part as I mentioned, we essentially work on a very strong public-private partnership model. All our projects, the project implementer is the private sector. What we do essentially is that we take the revenue risk and we pass on the technical risk to the private sector body. And the classical example was the latest round of procurement which we did 2 days ago for about 2 million LED lamps, which we are going to start distributing in Guntur. This Guntur is a city in Andhra Pradesh. This would be followed by another 3 million lamps RFP, which will be floated in the next 10 days or so. This would cover 3 other districts of Andhra Pradesh. We also are in discussions with 2 other states. I'll not name them at this stage, but basically, with the kind of prices that we've got for LEDs while we were procuring, there is enormous interest in different kinds of business models, and one of them is called on-bill financing. So now you may not need really a DSM model. You can charge 10 rupees per month from the consumer over the 2 years period, and you can actually distribute LED bulbs as replacement to incandescent. So this is another model that we are working on. We'll get back to you as soon as we have some more clarity on this whole thing. I'm just showing you 3 concepts, which from concepts became projects, and from projects became things where we are getting IRRs of more than 15.5% post-tax. First is the home efficient lighting model, which we are calling the demand side management based efficient lighting program. We completed this program in the Union Territory of Pondicherry, where essentially we provided LED bulbs as replacements to incandescents, and we charged only 10 rupees per LED bulb. The business model was simple. The Pondicherry Electricity Department, which is the distribution utility of Pondicherry, is saving close to about 43 million units every year, which in monetary terms works to about 90 million Indian rupees. They are paying us 50 million Indian rupees every year over the next 10 years to recover our investment, because we have subsidized the cost of the bulb to make it more affordable to households. And to also mention, we have started getting revenues from this project, and the payment security mechanism has been established, which is by way of a revolving letter of credit, which is the most common kind of a payment security mechanism. Following the success, Andhra Pradesh government has already, as I mentioned, asked us to change over more than 10 million bulbs, incandescent bulbs in their state, of which we are starting the first phase on 2nd of October. The second is the agriculture part. I will not dwell more on it, but essentially follows the same model where we invest in efficient pumps, and from the savings in the energy which leads to the savings in subsidy, we get paid over a period of time. And the third is the street lighting. Now this has been something which we have been pushing for a long time. I must confess, it has not been as fast as the home lighting program, perhaps because of the fact that multiple layers of government are involved, particularly at the local city level, which is the municipal corporation. So you also need approvals at that level. But hopefully in the next 3 months, we should be in a position to put out at least 100,000 lights procurement orders for various municipalities and ULBs. The first project here in municipalities has also started implementation in Nasik. When we expect to complete this, we had a lot of trouble in the last 1 year, including a court case which we finally got over. I mean, again, these things happen for whatever reason. And now finally we have started implementation. We should be able to complete this by end of January 2015. What I've shown on the last column is our estimated investments in this year and the next year. It totals to around 1,300 crores in these three sectors, largely, as you would see, in lighting. And I've also estimated what is the kind of demand reduction that would take place, around 525 or 520 megawatts. Still a very small beginning. The market for this is estimated by the Bureau of Energy Efficiency to be over 70,000 crores. So it's just a tip of the iceberg that we are touching. But nevertheless, we are happy that we have made a start. As I said, hopefully this would enthuse private sector to also start looking at energy efficiency as an investment opportunity. We have several models. Essentially, all these business models, what we are trying to do is to manage the risks. There are enormous risks in energy efficiency. That is one reason why it has not taken off. The DELP program, which is the household lighting program, follows what is called the standards offer program model, where an innovative thing was developed in North America and very successfully then implemented in South Africa. The Pondicherry example was the first of its kind in India, where energy efficiency is treated as a resource, which means I have entered into an agreement with the distribution utility that they will buy 43 million units of savings of energy at a predetermined rate. So in a sense, we are trying to make sure this is not a performance contract which runs into 60-70 pages, which usually results in a lot of conflicts between the ESCO and the facility owner. Here it's a simple quote-unquote power purchase agreement, very much like the power purchase agreement a utility enters with various power suppliers. The only difference is they are procuring energy efficiency from us, energy savings from us at a predetermined rate. Then we have the annuity model, where the way we have managed the risk is, again, in the street light space, is that we do a demonstration of 100, 200, and in some places 500 lights. For example, in Greater Hyderabad, it's about 800 lights that we are putting up. We measure three things. A, what is the energy saving? And how we do that is that on a road, on one side we let whatever luminaire is there in existence. On the other side we put up an LED based luminaire. And we compare the energy reduction, we also compare the light output. And the third thing, which is also a derivative of the LED technology, is the power factor improvement. So all three are then measured, validated by the municipal body, the distribution companies, by any other expert that they want. and the actual savings to the municipality is then determined. Based on that, per luminaire, what or per watt of LED, what is the payback to us is determined. Thereafter, we just multiply by the numbers that need to be retrofitted, and the annuity which has been determined through this demonstration. In our agreement, it very clearly says, after this demonstration, I have no liability to prove energy savings over the life of the project. Yes, there are certain service level agreements, in particular related to the fact that there would be a warranty of replacement in case of technical defects. The lights would be, the uptime of the lights would be more than 90%, but there would be no other time I would show, or I would be asked to show energy saving. So this reduces the risk of non-payment to actually bare minimum, makes energy efficiency business very, very aligned to all other kinds of businesses that we have. The third is a deferred capital cost recovery. This is we have developed for government buildings, where there is a administrative problem of paying back an escrow, which means if the, let's say for this building owned by the government ITPO, if the Pragati Maidan's bill is 1 crore and escrow comes and does intervention and it goes down to 70 lakhs and escrow demands 20 lakhs out of it, under the present dispensation, this is not possible. CPWD can only pay to the extent of the energy bill that is raised by the utility. So that's an administrative issue we are trying to actually BE has taken up this issue with the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Power. Till such time we have said, give us a deferred capital over the next 2-3 years, whatever is my weighted average cost of capital, you add to my capital cost and return it over the next 2 years. The fourth model, I will not talk about the last two. The fourth model is something which is extremely interesting, and we are we are getting there with the support of IFC, and I'll quickly take you, I've already talked about this. These are the actual photographs of implementation of the program, bulk distribution program in Pondicherry. As I said, we will be doing more than 2.5 crore lamps in the next 2 years, 1.5 years that is coming in. This is what I mentioned about how we do the demonstrations in street lights. As you can see, the combination of yellow and white light. And at the moment, we are working on about 1 million street light replacement. As I said, the process is slightly slow, and therefore it takes some time before we are able to roll it out. This is the Yojana Bhavan. We have already completed this project, and they are getting 26% reduction in energy bill every month as compared to the last year for the last 6-7 months. Yeah, so let me come to this very innovative model that we are developing with the International Finance Corporation. Essentially what this model does is that the government of, and this would be started in Orissa, the government of Orissa has decided to bundle 5 large cities. The total investment, total number of lights would be anywhere between 2 lakhs to about 3 lakhs. An SPV will be created. The entire project development is being done by IFC, and to implement the project, an SPV will be created where EESL would have a predetermined equity share. The project ownership will be transferred to this SPV, and then very much like the Ultra Mega Power project, the way it is bid out, this SPV will be bid out, and whosoever wins the contract would bring in the balance equity. Yet again, the revenue risk will be taken by EESL. The technical performance risk will obviously be with the private implementer. The state government has added to the attractiveness by blending a bit of grant that it had under I think an ADB program. So in all, what we expect is about 35 to 40% of the cost of the project will be borne in combination with EESL and the state government, and the balance would come from the implementing partner. At the moment, the government approvals for this structure has already come. The 5 or 6 cities are taking their internal approvals in their mayor and council, which is expected to be done in a month's time. Thereafter, IFC would start the due diligence process, which means project development of various contracts and various documentation for creating of SPV. We hope to roll this, come out in the market with this SPV early in the next financial year. And I'm pretty sure once this works, this is a model that can be used, replicated across many other states and municipalities, because it provides aggregation, it provides a good part of risk assessment. There is a public sector entity like us, which is coming in with a predetermined share of equity. There is a bit of government grant which is blended, so that the overall cost of the project also reduces and it becomes much more attractive for the private sector investor. So our value add to all this is that A, we would be able to reach out to you in much better way than perhaps the state government agencies. B, we will be able to create a more bankable product for the industry to invest. C, we would be in a position to provide the risk mitigation measures which otherwise are not available for large number of private sector players. So hopefully this would be something that would work, and we are, at least I am looking forward very much to this venture as we move ahead. Well, that is about all that I have. I would once again like to thank the organizers, particularly Nayab Gupta, Mr. Deepak Gupta and Elcoma for giving us this opportunity. If you have any comments and questions, they are most welcome. Thank you.
You talk of efficiency all the year around. Please go and visit Punjab. The rate is 6 HP for the agriculture sector. Where is the incentive for efficiency, please? The payment is on HP basis. Go and check the state government. There is no incentive for efficiency. I have to pay so much money for so much HP, that's all. That is the fact.
No, you are absolutely right. I mean, it is not just in Punjab, it is true for the entire country. There is no, most states have no tariffs for agriculture. If there are tariffs, it's actually very low. Therefore, the way our interventions have been designed is that the farmer has no incentive, as you very rightly say, but there is an incentive from the state government, because enormous amount of subsidy is being paid by the state government to the distribution utility. So therefore, what we have been doing with the state governments, and now we are working with at least 3 or 4 state governments on the agriculture energy efficiency, is that we go and replace the pumps of the farmers free of cost. And because of the enhanced efficiency, the consumption is reduced and the subsidy bill is reduced. Part of that is paid to us to recover our investment.
Any comment on solar are allowed?
Pardon?
Solar energy, any comments allowed? I have 2-3 comments.
No, I am not a person who talks
You are all in the light and solar.
that you can reserve when the solar person talks about.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I am H. Kumar from Energy Media. I am very thankful to have a right approach to make a sustainability in India, because most of my friends say the agriculture sector. I am dealing with the agriculture sector. I am belong to Rajasthan. Rajasthan government gave a 60% subsidy to solar pumping system, and segment is increased. Previous year the segment is less, now segment is large amount of subsidy to more part. But question is educational factor, because farmers is not aware of how to utilize the system. So there is a need of a skill development activities as a vocational, with the agriculture sector, with the SMEs also. So my point is recently our CM inaugurated the skill development training center in Udaipur. So every district should be brought a skill development in a lighting technology. Just like in Raymond opened a 5 crore project, 50% government of Rajasthan, 50% Raymond Training Center. So why not in a lighting technology center? At a district level, to refer 100 countries are there, 100 small cities are there, and one city, one projection technology center.
Point very well taken. We have taken note of that. I'll make sure that we pass on your suggestion, not just to the government of India, but also to the government of Rajasthan. Well, thank you.